Just simple. Just what do you think about your group so far in spring?
Awesome. They're working hard day in and day out. Really, really high football IQ group who, who's they're scrapping for everything right now. Very, very competitive, but we're nowhere near where we want to be. But they're showing up day in, day out, man, and giving it their all. So.
Emmanuel Carnley is a guy who didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but is competing for that one spot or being the starters. What have you seen out of him so far?
Yeah, Manny is definitely a young guy who's getting more reps than he's ever gotten before. Right now, going through spring, quick study in terms of the film room and learning the system and our verbiage. But he's a young man that's got a bright future if he can continue to show up day in and day out and put in the work.
So what are you teaching these guys in spring so far?
Going back to the basics, man, fundamentals, day in and day out. Trying to teach these guys to be technicians, and teach them how to practice, day in and day out, right? Because those are the things that'll show up come this fall. But ultimately, man, how to compete, play in and play out. With Bobo, outside of Bobo, there isn't a lot of experience. So these are guys that are learning how to play the game, from down to down, at a high level and be competitive, each play.
Have you ever done the dollar package before? You at coaching?
I have not. I've been in nickel, I've been in dime, but it's pretty exciting to have one more DB out there. So.
Is there a benefit to practicing that, even if you don't use it a lot, that it just gets everybody the reps in a live situation so that if they were to move into a nickel situation or even one of the starting spots, that they've had those run?
Sure, absolutely. It's an opportunity to get a guy in and get some reps, as you're saying, without a doubt. Um, you know, it's a compliment to what was here when I got here and this group that you have some DBs that you can put in a dollar package and be able to put all those guys out there at the same time.
Kina said at the kind of the tail end of last year, he really wanted to emphasize the safeties and just the entire DB room working together. Has that been a point of emphasis in the spring?
Absolutely, we haven't been apart, not 1 second of this whole thing. It's no different than the offense line. The offense line doesn't meet separate, and these guys have taken to it very, very well, and it's something that was important to us as a staff. There being one voice and them all hearing the same things, so that when we get in the games on Saturday, come this fall, that morale, that camaraderie that we've built through practices, through spring, shows up, on Saturdays.
What's your initial impression of Bobo?
I love him. Really, really unique skill set. Obviously, with his size, a young man that I think is just starting to scratch the surface of what he can do. But he loves the game. He's really invested a lot of time with myself, Coach Akina, early on in this process. And he's putting in the work. He's putting in the time, whether it's staying after practice, coming in early in the morning, getting extra film, and he's doing it on his own. I think he's got a chance to be a really great player. I think he's realized he has not arrived yet, which is really exciting for me as a coach. But he's putting in the work right now, and that's what's most important.
What have you taken away from his battles with T-Mac, and how much does that prepare him for the NFL?
I think he knows what and who T-Mac is, and so when he gets an opportunity to line up against him, he's taken full advantage. One of the things that I've loved about him is he has not shied away from saying, hey, T-Mac's saying I'm the guy that's following him, and he's done that, through the first half of spring, and he's getting better, and he knows, like I said, he knows T-Mac is elite, right? And so if I can go up against this guy, day in and day out, it's nothing but sharpening my tools. Iron sharpens iron, and that's something that he's definitely, he's definitely taken a personal, liking to this spring.
Your previous practice, I believe you were coaching up Celestine and you were telling him just to give 100% effort. Where would you say the effort, his work ethic is, and just the work ethic overall with all the corners in the room?
They all work hard, right? But as you go, as practice goes on, the deeper we get into spring ball, the body starts to tire out, and so it's something that can be coached every single day, and so it's something that Coach Akina is demanding from our defensive guys this spring, and it's just something that we want to piggyback on and drive home.
How do you think G7 can also help you guys out on the special teams front?
We've gotten to a little bit of special teams, but personally, I believe that G7 has to be a special teams guy for us that plays on all 4 units, whether it's being a returner, being a cover guy. He has to take advantage of that, and I'd like to see that honestly from my entire room because it helps the team.
And then just right now it's kind of an interesting time with college football with the portal and all that. So what do you talk to guys, which is kind of the message right now, or do you just focus on ball?
Absolutely. It's the world we live in. Got to do a little bit of both, but my main focus is coaching and retaining and recruiting the guys that are here every day. And the best way I do that is by coaching them and loving them to the best of my ability. Outside of that, obviously, where there are team needs, we're recruiting and talking to guys as needed, and full steam ahead that way, no different. I believe the recruiting staff is doing an awesome job at making sure that no stone goes unturned as we roll into this season of college football.
One more question. That's it? All right, that's our time.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.